Welcome to the day 4 of the High Income Health Expert Challenge. We have been having a blast. These last 3 days have been amazing. You guys have been showing up and digging deep and learning into how you can monetize your health knowledge online. How many people have enjoyed what you've been learning today? How about a yes in the chat if you have been enjoying what we've covered so far? And today what we're going to be talking about is how to make big money with a small audience online with your health message. And contrary to popular belief, you don't need a big audience in order to make big money. In fact, many online influencers with large followings actually have no idea how to monetize that attention or monetize the audience. Just having an audience alone isn't going to build a big business. And in fact, it's amazing to me that as like I've invested in influencer marketing before, and how not all influencers have the same level of influence. And what I mean by that is there are some influencers who are able to capture people's attention, and they'll get the views, the likes, the comments, the shares. They have these vanity metrics that really don't show a true indication of how much you're making, where they may have an influence to be able to influence their time, but when it comes to selling something, they don't have that level of influence with their audience to move people to take action and a financial decision. Whereas there are other people who have a smaller audience, and I've worked with people who have hundreds or maybe a couple thousand followers online, and they're making 6 figures in their business. Because what we realize is that the audience size is not a direct, exact equation for how much money you're going to make online. So what I'm going to be sharing with you is pretty much like a new way of monetizing your health knowledge online. See, the old way was that before they used to tell you the first thing you got to do is you got to build an audience, and once you've got this audience, then you sell them a product. Then you create a product that you go and you sell to them, but you first need to have 10,000, 100,000. You gotta build this large following before people ever pay you money, before you ever think about making an offer. And that, I believe, is like an old way of doing it. And what that does is that makes you wait for like 6 months to a year to beyond. I mean, sometimes it takes a while to build an audience online. So what the new way is for monetizing your knowledge is, and what I find it works, is to build a business first, and then make an offer, create health products, and once you build a business, then you can create content that builds an audience around the topics and the theme of your business. And once you're able, when you have a business, then you're able to create content that helps to overcome people's objections that would prevent them from saying yes to your offer. And this way allows you to start making money, and you're able to build your bank account while you build your audience. And I'm going to show you some of the strategies that you can do that. You can make big money even with a small audience. In fact, I believe one of the best ways to build a business first and to even develop an audience is really becoming an author. When you are able to package your health knowledge into a book, then you have what I like to call the author's advantage. And the author's advantage works where that you have it as an author, you have an advantage over your competitors. And I'm going to be sharing with you 7 advantages, 7 benefits that you have that competitors who may be teaching something similar or something different in your industry do not have when they don't have a book. And it spells out the word author. So the first advantage of becoming a health author is that you have what I would call the authority advantage. Because when you look at the root, we've already talked about it, if you want to build credibility, the root word of authority is the word author, because those who have authored a book are automatically perceived as being authorities on their subject. And we live in a society that highly values the tangible books. When they've got books that you've authored and you've been able to put them together, then people are like, wow, I want to stop and listen to what you have to say. So it helps you to, that is an advantage that you have instantly that other health coaches who are getting started or seeking to grow to the next level, they don't really get that. The you in the author's advantage is unique. You have a unique advantage where now you're able to stand out in a crowded market and you're able to differentiate yourself from other people who don't have a book, and you're able to share your unique story, your unique methodology. You're able to share this inside a book, whereas people go through, they're being sold on the validity of your process, your method, your unique story, your unique personality, the advantage you have is that you're able to build these relationships with people at scale, at this infinite scalability, without more of your involvement. And which brings us to the T in authors is you have a time advantage. When you publish a book, there is few ways that are more impactful for your time. A better use of time is if you put a little bit of effort up front in publishing the book compared to all of the time, the return on investment of your time that you get throughout a lifetime value of being a published book. You're able to, one, you can disconnect your time, your income from your time. So where no longer, while you have like a service, you only get paid while you're coaching people, or when you only get paid while you're speaking, or you only get paid while you're actually helping the person. You're showing up and you're doing your area of expertise, whether that's like hydrotherapy, or whether that is helping them with their garden, or whether you are hosting a workshop. If you have like a service, if you're still limited with your time on how much money you're able to make, because you've now anchored and connected your income generation to the most limited resource that you have. But by publishing a best-selling health book, you're able to disconnect your income revenue, your revenue generation from your time, and now you're able to infinitely scale that. And you're able to connect, convert, and communicate with your ideal clients while you sleep, while you go on vacation, while you are showing up to an event and learning and tooling up your skills. You can be out there impacting people's lives simultaneously. I remember often when I'm going to an event, I'll bring extra copies, and people want to know about what I do. And instead of just telling them, I'm a marketing consultant for health coaches, I'm able to put a book in their hands, which is far better than a business card, because many people get a business card, they just get those stacks and they throw it away in the trash, or they leave it on the shelf that they're going to go get to eventually. But having a book allows people to say, wow, now I understand what you do. It speaks volumes, and it's unique that while everyone else in your industry is passing out business cards, you are passing out books, and you are selling these books. And so a lot of times, just for my book sales alone, it covers the cost of my flight, it covers the expenses for my travel, and usually online my book sells for $25 on Amazon, but at an event I'll sell it for like $20 because it's easy for people to have. And what's able to happen, if I've had people who got a copy of my book at an event, then they went home, and months later they contact me and say, hey Nick, I've been going through your book, this has been so powerful. Hey, I would like you to speak on my podcast. Can you come share your principles with my audience? And what's amazing to me is that I may not have been over the phone or over Zoom or actually on calls with those people, but for the last few months, they've been thinking about my message, about my experience, about my methodology and how it can help them. And I've been building relationships and connections and converting them to want to go through to learn more about my business, and they start buying other products, and I'm not even actively involved. So when we talk about a time advantage, there are few better ways to leverage your time than to publish your knowledge into a book. And so the T in author's advantage is time. And the H I would say is you have a helpful advantage, because if you want to help people, one of the ways that you can help people, a lot of times people are like, well, if I have a premium program and I price it higher, then poor people can't afford it. But the powerful thing is you're able to reach mass market appeal from a book. People from all different walks of life, all different financial budgets are able to you're able to help them regardless of their financial standing. You can share with them the same principles you teach in your coaching or your course or your workshops. You could package them into a book, and whether they can afford your premium programs or not, you can still help people through a book. Another thing that this does is it provides you the ability, it's not only helpful for others, it's helpful for you. I encourage all health coaches to publish a health book, and one of the reasons why is because it helps you, it forces you to organize your thoughts into pages. When you can structure your speaking points into a chapter by chapter phrase or framework, it helps you to speak clearly so that when people understand, they want to pay, they're willing to buy. But other times health coaches are not really clear on who they serve, how they help them, how they express it. And here's a tip: a confused mind always says no. So if you're disorganized in your message and your methodology, then people are just going to, they don't care about your message enough to try to figure out and go through all that effort to understand what you're saying. So publishing a book helps you to organize your thoughts, and it's very helpful for you to be able to get to convert more in all of your communication afterwards, because once you have a book, then you can start doing what I like to call book-based content. And that content may be on a speech, may be on social media, may be on a course, it could be wherever you're communicating to people. It makes you more clear in your communication. And then the O in the author's advantage, you have an offline advantage. And what do I mean by offline advantage? Well, it used to be that digital marketing online is like this new thing that's and the reality is, like, if you're not online, then you don't really exist. We talked about doing the Google test, and one of the reasons why while most people are trying to find people to sell their stuff to, the real key is to make yourself findable by creating lighthouse content that allows people to find you. And when they search on Google, how many of the front pages of Google do you own? But now we are living in such a digital world that while most of your competitors are already online, they're already on the internet and they're being searched, they're being found, there's a far less amount of offline presence. And what I mean is like physical, tangible, actual things that people can hold. There's a lot less direct mail that's being sent to people's mailbox. But the fact that you have a product, while most people are selling digital products, digital courses, digital programs, and coaching, and they're selling the invisible, you have something that is actually physically tangible that people can touch and feel, and they automatically perceive as having greater value. And with this greater value, it's a reminder that people put on their shelf, they put on their coffee tables, and now you have an offline banner that you don't have to pay for this billboard on the street. You're able to have direct advertising on their coffee table that they're able to see in their office of your ideal clients, of the decision makers of events who are going to book and speak. They're looking for speakers to speak to their audience that's filled with your ideal clients. You now have something that you have an offline advantage that many people don't have. So it allows you to have what I like to call, you're able to stay top of mind. Because some people make decisions where they're not ready now, but you want something that can help them to be a reminder. And they see, every time they see their book, they think of your brand, they think of your message, they think of the dreams, they think of the solutions that you bring, your authenticity, they think of the goodwill that they have towards you. And it's a constant repetition that deepens their impression of you. So you really have an offline advantage when you publish a best-selling book. And then we have is revenue advantage. You have the revenue advantage because not only does a book help you to stand out, but it helps you also to have better quality leads. Book buyers, book readers are generally more affluent buyers. They're willing to pay a premium. These are people who believe in personal development. They are those who are seeking for growth. They're seeking to optimizing their health and living the best that they can. And there's been statistics that have showed that on average, the average CEO reads about 52 books a year. And so that's about a book a week. And it's those who are more in affluence, who are of the higher classes, who have larger discretionary funds. They're the people who pick up books. They're the people who like reading books and they want to read those. So when you put your book into their hands, they're far more likely to want to pay for other programs and other solutions that you have in your business. So this is one of the best ways to be able to build a business first, and then use a book to build an audience around a community like this. And the S is speaking advantage. You have a speaking advantage as an author, and the reason why is because media absolutely loves authors. Media is constantly looking for authors that they could interview. The podcasts, when you're a published author, you also have a higher perceived value of expertise, which means that you could have higher paying speaker fees where people are going to pay you to speak to their audience. I know that just yesterday, I got contacted from someone out in Texas who has an audience that he's been watching my content. He just got a copy of my book and he invited me to go speak to his audience, and he wants me to share some of the health marketing principles that I share online and I publish in my book. And now that he has his book, he's able to read through, and he's able to be sold more on my process, my story, my experience, and my journey. And now he's going to be going through this, and we're working out with my speaker manager and him of what are the details for making that happen. But a book helps you in speaking, because not only does it help you to raise your speaker fees, but it also helps you to have more profitable speaking engagements, because now you can sell your book from stage. And anyone where you have a 30-minute speech, a 60-minute speech, and you're just like, hey, if this was insightful and if you like this, then just grab a copy of my book, because I go into more detail on these topics and themes, and people are very interested. They will go literally live online. And there's many people who are in this challenge right now. They came because I was speaking at an event, and I talked about the book, and they went through the book, and they bought it right there on the spot. And then they let me know. It's like, let me know when you buy it. And they go online and they place the order while you're in the middle of speaking. They could do it from their phone, and it's being shipped out to people automatically. And it's amazing. So you have a speaker's advantage. This is like, how many of you would like to have an advantage? Hit yes in the chat if you would like to have an advantage in growing your health education business. If you feel like an advantage could be good for you, then put a yes in the chat below. So I totally believe that this is a huge game changer for health coaches who are just getting started. And if you've already been certified, or if you have a health knowledge, or this is something that is incredibly powerful for you. And next, I want to talk about what is the number one habit of highly effective authors. See, there's a popular book that sold over 25 million copies, and it's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And in this book, he talks about these highly effective habits, or these habits of highly effective people. And one of them, he says, is highly effective people begin with the end in mind. They're not just publishing and praying. They're like, publish and pray is not really a good marketing strategy. I believe prayer is important, but there's also important to have a process, a proven process, that as you publish. So where Stephen Covey says highly effective people begin with the end in mind, Enoch Leffingwell says highly effective authors begin with the back end in mind. And what do I mean by that? We talk about how when you build a business, then you create content around that back end of your business. See, then the content you create is actually leading people to ascend through the solutions that you have. So we talked about how you have lighthouse content. It's kind of like a prison. If you think of a prison, what does a prism do? Light goes through a prism, and then it creates these spectrums of different colors, and you have all the 7 colors of the rainbow. And Whereas I would liken it to your lighthouse content, where you let your light shine and you're building your audience. You publish a book, and that book is like the light that goes through the prism, and then every time that you solve a problem, you're actually creating follow-up problems that did not exist before you created that product. So every product is solving a problem. Every product is serving people. So that's why when we talk about let your light shine, as you let your light shine online, this is what happens. It goes through the prism, and then it creates a spectrum of back-end business problems. These other, what I like to call follow-up problems that your back-end business can solve, that your business can solve on the back end, and it generates more income for your health coaching business. And I'll show you. This is what we've done to be able to grow our business, and this is what many health coaches are doing. You look at the most successful health coaches online today, and you'll see that they are following these principles that I'm about to share with you. And what I'm going to show you here is there's 9 ways that you could profit from a health book without selling a single copy. And how many of you are ready for me to crack the code of showing you these 9 ways to profit from your book even without selling a single copy? Put a yes in the chat if you're ready for me to crack the code for you today. This is a wealth code that is absolutely game-changing for health coaches. See, in the book, Mark Victor Hansen and Robert Allen, in the book Cracking the Millionaire Code, they gave this great wealth formula that they call the PRISM code. And this PRISM code works and just by understanding the follow-up problems, the back-end business, what I do is I teach health educators how to package their knowledge in a book, get it to bestseller within 60 days. And then what I do is I work with them to then take that book and build a business around the book on the back end. So you can have 6 figures or multiple 6 figures or more on this business. So I'm going to show you an example of someone who's followed this PRISM code so that you can understand how it works. Here's an example of Kaylin Pullen. Kaylin Pullen is the founder of Lady Boss Weight Loss, her and her husband Brandon. And this is how this newbie, she's a female health coach, starting from 0 tech experience and no product, launched her business and was able to change the lives of over 1.3 million women in less than 3 years with her Lady Boss weight loss program and following this PRISM code. And so the P in the PRISM code stands for products. So first you have your product. And what is a product? For this example, we're going to say your product is your health book. What happens is when you publish a health book, you create other follow-up problems. So Kaylin Pullen, she published a book, Big Fat Lies, and she's overcoming a lot of lies that the weight loss industry wants you to believe that keeps you fat, sick, and nearly dead, overweight. And so she wrote this book, Big Fat Lies. And she used this book to get into the hands of so many people. And look, it doesn't have to be super thick. And a short book, it doesn't have to be a big encyclopedia. Even short books, 100 pages, can be incredibly impactful, very powerful for spreading your message online. So she published a book, and then what follow-up problems does that create? Well, now we get into the R in PRISM, which stands for related products. What are some related products that are now can be created because of this book? Well, what she ended up doing is through her related product, she was able to generate over $150 million in her business. Here, while she's teaching people about weight loss, now she's able to provide for them some protein lean shakes. And she's able to provide, so here you have protein shakes, which for you could be health foods, or it could be maybe foods that if you're doing like mental health, it could be foods for your brain. If you're doing agriculture, you could sell seeds for heirloom seeds. Or the second thing you could do is you could provide fitness and kitchen equipment. If you're doing things that make sense for the kitchen, do kitchen equipment. And fitness, you could do fitness equipment. And you could also provide supplements where when you have these related products, I don't have it on there, but there's also health coaches have, I know Oshi Glows, she started with a health blog, but then she was sharing her recipes on there. And then that health blog turned into a health cookbook. But that cookbook created follow-up problems that now people are like, well, I got different allergies, or how do I quickly go through all the recipes? And then she got the best-selling book, but then she turned it into an app, because that app is now a related product that allows people to filter the recipes by whatever allergens they have, whether they're gluten-free or plant-based, or, well, they're all plant-based, but whether they want to stay away from oils or carbs or whatever the thing is, you could identify, or maybe I'm allergic to vinegar. And so you can decide which ones you want, and you put it into an app. So there's opportunities for related products, and Caitlin Pullen and Lady Boss was able to make over $150 million just on the related products from her book. That these are more follow-up problems that did not exist, where now they're like, well, what kind of food would I eat for weight loss? What kind of equipment could I use for exercising at home or in the gym? Or what kind of supplements would be able to take? And she got bars. She's got different foods that people are able to use for their weight loss journey. Now, that's the R in PRISM. What about the I? The I stands for information products. Because now that you have your book, now there's a greater need where now people are like, well, how do I apply the principles? So what people can do is you can dive into like online courses, home study courses that now people are interested in, maybe some more accountability, more step-by-step instruction. Maybe they want some worksheets and some videos that dive deeper into some of the subjects. And you could take the same principles you teach in your book and just record the video, and even people will pay more money for the same framework packaged in a different way. So she was able to sell online courses, and she's able to sell online challenges. Now she has this 30-day slim down, where it's this 30-day challenge that helps people to slim down and get into an optimal weight. And now you've got this accountability, you got this community, you have this online, this information product that now you're able to teach and elaborate or expand or repeat and enlarge on the same principles in your book. And you could also provide ebooks or workbooks that people are able to use. So, and with information products alone, she was able to make $25 million within those few years that she started her business, and she grew and was impacting so many women's lives. So the I in the PRISM code is information products. What about the S? S is services. So your book creates now a problem where people are like, okay, I get it. I like the do-it-yourself kind of information products that I could go through that, but that takes longer. It's kind of harder. I got to wade through those videos. There's not so much of personalization. There's not so much interaction. Sometimes people want deeper access with you. Maybe they want a little more to do with you. So then what Caitlin Pullen's able to do is she's able to put together some services like coaching. So now you can hold their hands step by step and walk them through the process. You can have group coaching online. You're going to have consulting fees. Now people are willing to pay to consult on how to fix their garden, or how to lose weight, how to overcome their. You can have a consultation calls with people, and this allows for greater profit. Even if they don't buy the book, just the fact that you have the book, you could share the same principles based on that. And a lot of times I know, like Dan Kennedy, what he does is he wrote the book, The Ultimate Sales Letter. And in this book, when people call him for consultation, they pay him big money for consultations. And he often prescribes his book as one of the remedies, one of the solutions that are going to go deeper in there. And from that book, they generates even more business from behind. And another thing you could provide, another type of service, is workshops and retreats. These health retreats, health workshops, implementation workshops. I know this is something that we've done in our business, and some of our students have said that our implementation workshops, they get more done in 3 days than they have in 3 years. Because while there's a lot of do-it-yourself, a lot of videos and stuff, but what we do is we just put our head down and go for 3 days. We just help them to apply these assets, and we help them to publish their book. We help them to build out their speaking assets, to help them to craft their signature offer, their high-ticket health coaching offer that people are willing to pay a premium for. We go deep into these subjects and different workshops to help people to grow their health education business. Another service you can provide is speaking, where now people want to read the book, and I can't tell you how many times people have read my book and they're like, oh, this is a powerful book. Would you be willing to speak to my audience? Would you be willing to share these things? So do they speak? Yeah. And here's Brandon speaking at their live events, and you can get booked and paid to speak and travel around the world, go to locations that are dream destinations, vacation areas that you like to go to, and they will pay for your flight, pay for your hotel, and often they'll even pay for you to go explore and expand your horizons while you're able to share a message with people that really impacts other people's lives. So doing health seminars and cooking classes and a variety of different speaking engagements have really allowed me to travel. I've never traveled so much in my life as when I started to speak to other people's audiences. And so that's some of the services. Kaylin, Lady Boss, was able to make over $10 million through their services. And you could see this is all created because of having a book. You now create follow-up problems that didn't exist otherwise. People read the book and they're like, okay, how does this fit in the context of my business? So they want to pay for more. They want you to speak to their audience. They want to attend a workshop where they can implement the principles so that they have the accountability, the environment, the total immersion. People are willing to pay premium for that. The M in Prism is media. Now, every time you create a product, you now open the doors for multimedia programs and products and opportunities to now be able to talk about or create content around. So some of the ways that she's been able to do that is she's been speaking on podcasts about her book. As you can see the photo back there, she's published blog articles, and what's really powerful is because a book is already written it's already written form. You can easily take the chapters in your book and turn them into blog articles on your blog, and it helps to build your speaker profile, and people are able to learn more about your book, learn about you and your business and how you help people through converting to blogs. And then also you can take those blogs and post them as guest articles on other prestigious magazines and articles and blogs online that also position you as an authority, and they could be published for news outlets where you could be interviewed on national television. You could be interviewed on established publishers in your fields. So it opens a door for interviews, and there's YouTube collaboration, YouTube videos, there's social media communities and posts and content, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. There's different ways that you're able to take now the principles of your book, and now you're able to create book-based content. And all these different content are able to lead people back to your book, and your book becomes like this powerful foundation of building a high-income health expert business. So that's what she's able to do to build this empire and help over 1.3 million people's lives in less than 3 years. Now, how many of you, can you see the vision for your business? How about a yes in the chat if you can start seeing any of these? You're like, oh, I could see how that could have helped me. I could see how that could help me. How many of you would like to have at least some of the results that Kaylin and her husband were able to put together with their book? Put a yes in the chat if you could see that. So by now, some of you are probably listening and you're like, wow, Enoch, this has been incredible. These last 3 days have been like drinking from a fire hose. And this has just been so much great content. I've learned a lot. This has been so powerful. I'm excited that this has been so good. But and that's often how people feel when they've gone through my training and they get to this point and they're just like, wow, this is so good. But is it okay? Some of you have picked up so much momentum up until this point. You've been like, wow, I don't want this learning environment to stop. I've really found great value here, and I want to continue this experience, and I want to know how I can go forward with these principles. Is it okay for you if I spend a few minutes explaining a really special offer that I put together for some of you? Is that okay? Just put put a offer in the chat. If you're okay, if I take a few minutes to explain a special offer I put together just for you guys. Wow, you guys have been showing up, you've been coming to the challenge, you've been enjoying this, and is that okay? Because offer okay? Because I don't want to show you if this isn't something you guys are interested in right now, but offer okay. I see that people are interested. So what I've done is, first of all, like who here is excited to become a best-selling health author? Like, are you excited? Some of you look like this guy, or some of you guys just have so much anticipation. You're just like, wow, this has been amazing. I can see this in my business. I'm ready. I want to publish a health book. And the reality is, there has been, according to a study that was conducted by New York Times, there was approximately about 81% of Americans felt like they had a book in them. So that's about 81% of Americans had a dream to be a published author. But according to another study that was conducted by the Book Industry Study Group, they found that only about 2% of Americans actually have ever written and published a book. You know what that means? Out of all the people who had the dream to publish a book, only about 79% of them have ever became a best-selling author. Or, have never became a best-selling author. That means 79% of people have a book in them, but they're going to go to their graves with unfulfilled dreams of becoming an author. And my question is, do you want to be a part of that 79% who feel that they have a book in them, but never published in their lifetime? Or are you ready today to get the guidance that you've been looking for to write, to publish, and to launch your book to bestseller in the next 60 days? So what I've done is I've put together a best-selling book boot camp. And in this boot camp, the reason why I put this together is because I realized that this publishing process can be confusing. It can be challenging for people. And I know that you have a health message. And I know firsthand from experience and people I've worked with, the value of having a book. What many people do not realize, they see these health educators who are making big money, and they're seeing that the possibility of this industry, and the health coaching industry is only expanding. It's growing more and more, and it's not showing signs of slowing down. That's because there's a demand for it. There's a need. And what's leading people to break through, that's separating the best from the rest, is many of these people are publishing books. But that poses a problem. It's confusing, it's challenging. How do you publish the book? How do you get it out there? Maybe some of you have a few titles in mind. Maybe some of you have desired to do this for a few years. Maybe some of you have attempted before. Maybe some of you have a manuscript already written, but you are not sure how to package it and format it, put it together in a way that can be published. And it sounds confusing. So what I've done is I put together this best-selling book bootcamp to simplify the process. And here's what you're going to get in this boot camp. First of all, I broke it down to realizing, after having published my best-selling book, not once but twice, and helping my students to be able to get their book to bestseller, I've boiled it down to there's really like 6 phases to writing a bestseller. And those phases goes like this. Number 1, what we're going to do is we're going to help you to plan your book. This is where you're able to turn your mindsets and your skill sets into income-producing assets. You already have a health knowledge that you can monetize, or we're going to help you acquire the skill sets that you can quickly acquire and then turn those into an income-producing assets like a book, and like the Prism, the spectrum of products that are able to come afterwards. We can help you to package those together on the back end. Number 2, we're going to help you to now package your book. I'm going to share with you the simple cure for writer's block that works every time. A lot of people feel like they have writer's block, they're not sure how to get started or how to do that, but not our students. Because the way that we help people to write books, it allows them to write books quick. Even if they're not a good writer, it helps them to get a high quality book out faster than you ever thought possible. And the third, we're going to help you to polish your book. Once you've packaged your knowledge into a manuscript, now we're going to polish that manuscript into a book. And I'm going to share with you how you can avoid the traps that leave health authors with massive editing and proofreading time wasters and money costs. Because there's a slow way to do it, and there's a fast way to do it. Can you say fast? Can everybody say fast? There's a fast way. There's an easier way to do it. And we're going to make sure that to save you the time, the energy, and the money of doing it the hard way. And really, that's the most popular way that a lot of people do it. But it doesn't mean it's better. And then the fourth, what we're going to do is we're going to help you to publish your book. This is our hassle-free global distribution secrets. This is going to show you the secrets for automated printing, shipping, and fulfillment without inventory. And we're going to make this so easy that your grandmother can do this. And this is something that's going to help regardless of your tech ability, regardless of your knowledge of the publishing industry. We're going to make this an easy process for you to publish your book, get it to, and then the fifth part is to promote your book. This is where we show you that our 7 secrets to our unique bestseller launch strategy to guarantee your book hits #1 on Amazon and beyond. This is what a lot of people are missing, because people think that when they write books that the books are going to sell themselves. They're not going to sell themselves. You need to have a best-selling launch strategy. And we wouldn't be able to get 3 books, not once, not twice. I mean, if you do it one time, yeah, it could be a fluke. You do it again, it's like, whoa, there's a pattern here. You do it a third time, and you realize, okay, this isn't guesswork. This is a framework, a proven process that can consistently launch to bestseller each time. Having no audience, having no email list, having no prior online social media presence, we can help you to launch your book to bestseller and establish you as an authority in your field. And the sixth phase is now what I like to call profit your book. This is how wealthy authors turn one book into a lifetime income. So a lot of the things that we talked about, the PRISM code, and these are the 6 phases. And what happened was I was at a mastermind that we all paid about $50,000 to be in the room. And I had the opportunity to talk to Kiana Daniel. And Kiana is someone who is a published author, and she has been, she talked about her book on national television multiple times. She is a author on a variety of different financial subjects. And so I was having dinner with her and some friends, and I was wanting to publish a book, and I had the opportunity to talk to her. And in that time, I remember I got her book while I was at an event where there's 3,000 of us in the audience. I found out about her because she was speaking there, and all 3,000 people got the book, which is another benefit of having a book, is event organizers love buying a bunch of your books and allowing you to give it to every single one of the events attendees. And so that's how I got her book. I read through it, I found her story. I'm like, wow, this is powerful. And now she's sitting across from me, I get to talk to her. So I wanted to ask her about her book publishing process and how she does it. I was like, so Kiana, I've been taking about like 8 months to publish this book, and I don't really see the finish line in sight, but I want to get this out. So I'm curious, what does your process look like? Is how long do you spend in writing your book versus like marketing your book and promoting your book? What is the ratio? Is it like 80%, 20% writing, 80% marketing? Is it like vice versa? Like, how does that look for you? And she's like, oh, that's easy. I take 2 days to write my book, then spend the next 12 years plus in marketing the book that I wrote. And there I had this big breakthrough moment that I began to realize, whoa, I'm doing this wrong. That I don't have to take months and years to publish my book and package this knowledge. There is an easier way. And she didn't quite show me what that way is, but soon afterwards I discovered that instead of just writing the book, there's a fast way. There's at least a quicker way to do it. And it gave me hope and encouragement that I'm like, oh, I can get this book done fast. Now, how many of you can relate to my story so far? Put a yes in the chat if you could relate to maybe taking longer than you desire to publish a book, or maybe you're afraid that publishing a book is going to take more time than you have. Well, and if you could put yes in the chat, if you're inspired to be able to, hey, I would like to have a book that could be faster rather than slower. And what I did is I realized that, well, I'm a speaker. I speak, I teach, I share, and it's a lot easier for me to, one of the tips, one of the fastest ways to write a book is don't write your book, speak your book. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you can literally take the content that you would have in your book, you can speak it through a video series, you can take your signature speech that you already have, or you could take a workshop you've done or a course that you've done. You could take the spoken word, or you can literally, some of my students, what we'll do is we'll just grab the phone and we will just speak into the audio, and you're able to record the audio, have it transcribed, like on a software like Otter.ai is what I like to use. You can go to rev.com, rev.com, and they will take the audio from your video or your recording, and they will transcribe it. And then there you have that manuscript. And all you got to do is just clean it up, or have an editor clean it up. Or if you like writing, even if you love writing, you still want to speak your book, because it's going to be way faster for you to never have to start with a blank page. If you love writing, then when you have the transcript, you can edit and write and go through all that stuff, and then just fine tune it and make it look nice and sound great and everything the way that you like it. Or like what I did is I worked with editors who will be able to go through and clean up the transcript and make it look nice and format it well under the guidelines that I provided. And then after having that breakthrough, I was able to publish my book within 2 weeks. Chose a different subject and got my book published in 2 weeks, and it got to #1 best-selling on Amazon for in business consulting. And then recently I published my latest book, the book on high-ticket health coaching, and we again launched that to #1 best-selling through the same process. And so what this does is it opens the floodgates. It opens the doors to being able to get your book done fast instead of slow. And from our book, we've been able to get it into the hands of so many people who have been blessed by the book, and we've gotten reviews, we've gotten such high regards that people have had for it. It's like then people are like fighting over the book. It was a fun photo that we took at a mastermind, and it's just like, you can now build an audience, a community. You can build a group of people who are passionate about your book, passionate about your message, and sharing that with other people, just like Lady Boss did, just like we've been able to do with our books, just like Kiana Daniel, just like many of some of the most successful health coaches have done. See, here's an example of Christopher. See, Christopher Smith, he was not an author when I met him, but he's a online business owner, and he was he's an international health speaker, and he's a health coach. And what he was doing is he was trying to write his book for like 3 years. He invested in so many different marketing programs, coaches, big name coaches in the industry, and he was disappointed because even after trying so many different times and writing a book, he was never quite able to get it to the finish line. And after working with us, we were able to help him to write his book within 3 weeks. And we helped him to launch his book to bestseller within 60 days. And he's been able to generate some of his first clients, and we're working with him to now get scheduled and booked and paid to speak on other podcasts and stages and conferences in his industry, so that he can now talk about his topic and attract even more high-paying clients. So this is one of the things that he said. He said that the information that Enoch gives you is so valuable that you will be amazed at how much he gives. He cares about your success and gives you the tools to start on the journey to being a high-ticket health coach. This is someone who has said that this is the best money he has ever spent in coaching, and he's invested in a lot of big names for marketers. But he's like, I've never found something that was so valuable as coaching with Enoch. And it's really a blessing when you have people who've gone through your process and they've really enjoyed it and they're willing to review others. And now he sends people to me and he talks to his health educators because he's just like excited to let people know, everybody ought to know that there is another way. There's a faster way. So who is this boot camp for? This boot camp is great for anyone who may be a health enthusiast. Some of you are like, well, I've never published a book. Is it for me? Yes, it's for you if you've never published a book. Maybe you're like, well, I already have a book. I have a health book, and I had someone say, I wish that I knew about you a year ago. Well, to be honest, even if you already are an existing author, we can help your current book to get it to bestseller. We can make a few tweaks that will lead to the biggest peaks in your existing book, or we can make your next book even better than the one before. So if you're an existing author, we got you. This boot camp is for you. If you have a health method or you have a program developed, maybe you are teaching workshops already, maybe you've got a process that you've perfected and put together, then we can show you how to package that process into a health book and get that to bestseller and build a business on the back end of that book. This is great for you. If you're a health coach, some of you are like, well, or you desire to be a health coach. If you're a certified health coach, you're like, now what do I do? This is one of the best boot camps to help you understand the marketing principles of building a business of high-paying health clients. And maybe some of you are like, well, I'm a health speaker. I teach workshops. I teach speeches. I travel, I speak, or I go on live and I do interviews. Is this good for me? Yes, we can show you how you can even take the existing speeches you have and then turn those into a best-selling book. If you're a health blogger or a vlogger, you create video content or written content online, pictures, then this book is for you. Really, anyone who has a health message that they desire to get this to the world, this is a boot camp that it will be a great step for you. So how many of you, as you've been going through this, you're thinking about a book idea? Like you have an idea. And I'd like to know in the comments, comment below, what is your book idea? What is something that came to your mind, a title, a topic? What is something that you want to write about? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear some of the ideas that you have. Now, some of you too are going through and you're like, oh man, this is great, Yannick, but I'm not really a good graphic designer. And what am I going to do for the cover? Well, to be honest, we got you. We got you covered. We're going to provide done-for-you professional cover designs that you're able to use. And people really do judge a book by their cover, but we are going to provide you templates that are based on best practices that help you to generate sales even before people buy it. And there'll be profitable covers that will lead people to want to say yes and show you and help you to be your cover to stand out in this market. So what you're going to get with this boot camp is you're going to get done for you professional cover design. Usually, if you were to get this elsewhere, you could easily pay up to $1,500 for professional covers, but we've got you covered, done for you cover design templates, a total value of $1,500 when you sign up today. And then I was thinking, well, what else would you need? What else would help you to just simplify the process? What is a part of publishing that really gets people stuck? And I realized, the automated printing and distribution. Sometimes that could be confusing or tricky, but what we're going to do is your book will be available in paperback, print on demand format, so that and it'll be distributed through a global distribution platform. So when someone purchases your book, what's going to happen is it's going to be printed, it's going to be packaged, and it's going to be shipped for you. You're not responsible for any of the fulfillment or the inventory management. You don't have to have a bunch of boxes in your garage. You're able to have this done for you, and people are able to purchase, and it'll go from your mind to their mailbox in the shortest amount of time possible. So Michael Hyatt is someone who is a New York Times bestselling author. He's a former CEO of Thomas Nelson Publisher, which is one of the largest traditional publishing companies that have been around for decades. And what he says about self-published authors, he says, I've worked in traditional publishing industry for 30 years and published most of my books through traditional publishers. However, I have self-published a few of my most recent books and recommend it as the first choice for most aspiring authors. So he listened to someone who's been there, done that, understands the industry well, and he's showing that it used to be that the traditional publisher was the way to go, and self-publishing is what you do when you can't get a traditional publisher. But now, coming from a leader in the traditional publishing space, he's like, look, self-publishing allows you to keep your creative genius, allows you to write the way that you desire, to really communicate your message out. And it's a better route. It's just a better way for people than before. So we're going to make that self-publishing journey so much easier, so much faster, and we're going to smooth the process for you. So you're going to have automated printing and distribution. So what you're going to get is you're going to have, number one, you're going to have done for you professional cover design. That's a $1,500 value. You're going to have automated printing and distribution. That's a $500 value. And total value we're looking at right now is about $2,000. That's all encapsulated in this best-selling bootcamp. And I was thinking, I didn't just want to give you just enough to be successful. I wanted to look at what is everything that I could possibly provide that would help you to succeed. And I realized, okay, I got it. Done for you cover professional formatting. A lot of times people got a manuscript, but they're like, how do I format this transcript? Okay, let's say you get a transcript. How do I format this into a book so that it looks and feels great inside and out? So our design team has provided your book format template for ebook and for paperback prints. And we will ensure that your book looks and feels extremely high quality inside and out. This is easily can be paid like $1,500 value for something like this. If you were to outsource this on your own, and you got to go through and wade through all of the different levels of quality, expertise, and ability that people have, and it's just like you never know what you're going to get. So we're gonna provide you done for you professional formatting to make it easy for you. So what you're gonna get is done for you professional cover design. That's a $1,500 value, and we're gonna provide the automated printing and distribution. That's a $500 value, and you're gonna get done for you professional formatting. So your book looks and feels great. That's a $1,500 value. Total value right now we're looking at is $3,500. When you sign up today for the Best-Selling Book Bootcamp. And I think, what else would you need that would help set you up for greater success? And I realized, publish and royalty rights. We're going to make sure that we will guide you step by step through all the publishing and set up worldwide distribution for your health book. You keep 100% of the rights and royalties. So that passive automated income, it goes to you, not to us. We just help you through getting it set up, and you're able to reap the lifetime benefits. We're not the traditional publishers that's going to take the vast majority of the profits and give you pennies for all the books you sell. You get to keep all the royalties. You have full ownership and control over the content that you create, your pricing, your marketing strategies of your book. We're not going to dictate any of those for you. We can guide you of what works best, but ultimately you get to make the decisions that fits best for your brand. And so what you're going to get in this Best-Selling Book Bootcamp is done for you professional cover design that's going to look great. It's going to pop off the shelves. It's going to make people say, that's the book for me. It's a $1,500 value, and we're going to have automated printing and distribution, get you fully set up, simplify the process. It's a $500 value. They're going to done for you professional formatting so that your book is formatted, it looks great like a book. That's a $1,500 value, and you get to keep all the publishing and royalty rights. That is a $997 value, and we really know that you can make far more than $1,000 from the publishing and just the royalties alone. There's many authors who are making a full-time income on their royalties. Now, for you, I'm going to show you that the royalties is not where the big money is from. The big money is from the back end of the business, but you get to keep all the royalties. That's an additional stream of income, and we're going to help you. So the total value is $4,497 so far. So this is something that Danielle Sweeney has said. Danielle, she says that Enoch's mentorship has always been the most clear and encouraging to me. I'm always left feeling inspired and confident after receiving his support, and I would recommend his insights to anyone in the business of helping people. So how many of you are in the business of helping people? Yeah? And if so, then I know that when it comes to cryptocurrency, I don't know much about that. If you're coming to me for stocks, don't do it, because I don't get much of the stocks. There's a lot of skills that I don't have and I'm not good at, but if there's one thing that I do know is I know how to help holistic health professionals to market their health knowledge online, to monetize that knowledge and help a lot of people in the process. And if that's of interest to you, then I'm your guy. That's the one thing I do know how to do. I know how to help people to take that knowledge, simplify the complexities of publishing their health book, their first or next one, launching the bestseller. These are the things that my team and I have really honed in on, and we get it. That's something we understand. So if this is something of interest to you, then this best-selling boot camp is for you. And I'm thinking, but all that is great, but what else do you need? What else can help you to almost guarantee your success? How could I make this so irresistible so that it's just going to ensure that you're able to get to bestseller, get your book out, and build this business, and really attract the community of your dreams? And so I realized, I'm going to provide for you a social media marketing crash course for authors. In this social media for authors program, it's going to help you to craft a sustainable yet strategic plan for creating what I like to call book-based content that builds your health-focused business. You're going to learn to create consistent posts based on your book so that you can have a strong social media presence surrounding your book content that attracts high-paying health clients. How does that sound to you? See, that's exactly what Joe Cross did. As we talked about him a little bit, he was able to publish his book that landed a best-selling documentary. And in this book, it's interesting because when you look at the second documentary that he did, he published this little message on social media. And he said, hey, I'm going to be in Washington Square Garden in New York at this date between these times. Come out and I'd love to hear your story, say hello, meet you in person. And as a result, he had a crowd of people that just from his simple social media that all started from his book and went beyond in this documentary. He was now able to build a community online that he's able to go and have an instant audience. How many of you would like to have an instant audience that you could travel to another state, another country in his case? He's Australian, right? And he came over to the United States and he just posted online and then boom, he's got an instant audience. I know it's really refreshing when there was a time I was traveling in Tennessee, I was speaking over there, and I had people driving up from Florida because they're like, oh, this is to go see their daughter and me. They're like, oh, I followed you online and I'm so glad to be here in person and to connect and meet. And it's because of the publishings, the content that I've posted, and it just builds a community that people are interested in. It's really a powerful thing that you can have an audience anywhere that you go. So what you're going to get, again, for this, so far, what we're looking at is a done-for-you professional cover design. That's the $1,500 value. That's all included. You're going to have automated printing and distribution made easy, fun, fast, easy, simple. Can you say simple? $500 value right here, done for you professional formatting. So the inside of your book looks like a book and it's optimized for readers. It's optimized for bringing business back to you. So that's a $1,500 value. And you're going to get to keep the royalties and the publishing and royalty rights. That's all yours. You get to control of that. That is a $997 value. You're going to have the social media marketing for authors training. That's easily a $3,000 value. You get all of that. It's a total value of $7,497. But I'm thinking, all right, you have this training, but what can I do to ensure that you're going to implement? What can I do to just eliminate any obstacles, any hassle that would possibly come your way that would prevent you from being able to publish your book and build a business? And I'm just like, the best way that I know how to make sure that you implement this information is through implementation workshops. So what I'm going to do for those, this is a special bonus that is only for those that pay in full. I'm going to provide a 3-day implementation workshop where you're going to, during these 3 days, take everything that is needed to be able to write, to polish, and to publish your book. And we're going to help you to, you're going to get access to one of the 3-day implementation workshops that I teach. And this is for those who pay in full. In fact, it was during one of these implementation workshops that I had with my students that they've paid $10,000 to attend this implementation workshop, but you're going to get it for free when you pay in full of this boot camp. And what I did is I dedicated one of these workshops into, I was sharing with them, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write, I challenged myself, I'm going to write a book and publish it within 3 days from start to finish. And my goal was to do that. And where not only was I challenging myself to publish a book, but I was also challenging my students to publish their book. And we're going to do this together. Now, did I publish a book in 3 days? No. But I was able to publish it in 4, which is faster than it took me the 2 weeks to publish my last best-selling book. However, in those 4 days, not only did I publish a book, but I was teaching others how to publish the book. I was actually documenting my process of what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and how it's working. And as I was going step by step through the exact process that I was going to take to publish a book in 4 days, and I've put together my 4-day publishing, my unique 4-day publishing blueprint. And in this blueprint, it shows you how you can publish it. Whether you take 4 days or 4 weeks, it's okay, but you can easily publish your book in 4 days. I took longer because I was teaching people and building an entire boot camp for you to walk you through the process. But I don't want to teach you to do something that I'm not willing or able to do. So this isn't theory. This isn't just things learned from books. This is actual practice put into play, not just for myself, but for my students as well, to be able to publish the book faster than you ever thought possible. So this implementation workshop will take all the principles that you learn in this boot camp, and in these 3 days, you're not going to leave with a big done to-do list. You're going to leave with a big done list. While most courses, most seminars that you go to, you're going to have this big to-do list, but you're going to leave this workshop with a big done list. But again, it's only for those who pay in full. So this is something that Laura Sprucido, she said about her working with me. She says, I appreciate the practical tips, but more than anything, I trust Enoch. He has proven to be a very caring person and genuinely interested in helping others. And this is special to me because I know that she's very caring and she's interested in helping people. She's been teaching people about health and helping them to overcome, and she's helped someone who wasn't able to walk. She gave him a simple solution to be able to overcome some paralysis and be able to have that mobility. I mean, just the ability to take someone who has knowledge that is so impactful and life-changing and to be able to get that out there to further benefit the world it's so rewarding. And I believe you have a message that matters, that the world needs to know about. And one of the best ways for the world to know of your health message is through your book. And if you would desire, I would like to be the book coach that could help you, take you through that process, because I genuinely do care and I want to see you succeed. This isn't just something I'm going to take your money and run. I'm here to work with you, and we're going to unite together to get you to the finish line. And that's not something, unfortunately, that a lot of coaches are actually coming from that frame. But this is everything that you're going to get inside this best-selling book bootcamp. So far, you're going to have done-for-you professional cover design. That's a $1,500 value. You're going to have automated printing and distribution. That's a $500 value. We're going to provide done-for-you professional formatting. We take care of it. You don't have to go through all the learning curve and organization. If you struggle with organization, organizing thoughts or ideas, it's like this formatting is so simple. Anyone can do this. And we'll take care of that formatting process for you with our professional book format template. And so that's a $1,500 value. If you were to go outsource and pay for a freelancer to do that for you, we got you covered. You also get to keep all the publishing and royalty rights. That's a $997 value. We're going to get the social media marketing for authors. It's a $3,000 value. And our 3-day implementation workshop, which our students have paid $10,000 to attend. And they've said that it is the best $10,000 they've ever paid in coaching before. And so the total value we're looking at now was $17,497. And you're going to get this when you sign up for the Best-Selling Book Bootcamp. Now, what I realize is a lot of this mainstream publishing advice is just broken. Some of the stuff that people are saying, it really like baffles me. Like I was on some other competitors or other people who will teach you how to write a book. I mean, some of their clients, they talk about their experience, how it was like, it's one of the hardest things they've ever done. It was so exhausting, and it's like, oh, they don't like writing the book, but they like the result. And I listened to their experience after working with these coaches, and I'm like, oh, it doesn't have to be like that. I was on a sales page literally of someone who was selling a publishing offer because I just wanted to see what's around and just kind of understand what are the alternatives. If they're not going to work with me, what's there? And one lady was like, you won't know your book word count until 6 months into writing it. And I was like, what? You won't know how many words are going to be in your book? I can easily tell you. In your book, you don't need a big book. You don't need to write a big encyclopedia that's going to like sit on the shelf collecting dust in order to publish a best-selling book. You can publish a short 100-page book that is very impactful and high quality, and that's going to be about 18,000 words. Your goal is to get about 18,000 words, and that's maybe about like 4 hours of recording. It's simple. And you don't have to have uncertain 6 months and you still don't even know how much your word count is. It's like, we're going to show you how to do it in 4 days. You can publish your book way faster. You don't have to take months and years to do it. Other things that people say is you need to get a publisher. If you're going to publish a book, you need a publisher. But you don't want them to dip into your funds. You don't want them to give you pennies. You don't want them to be controlling what you say, how you market it. And like Michael Hyatt says, you don't need a publisher. Self-publishing is the best option for most people who are first-time authors. So that's what you get to have. You get to have the freedom to succeed and be you without the restrictions of a publisher. Other ideas is like only experienced writers can publish a book. And to be honest, like I'm not an experienced writer. I don't see myself, I don't enjoy writing. I'm not that great of a writer. But the reality is you don't have to. I know that I'm going to do some trainings in the future of a case study of how these 3 dyslexics were able to become New York Times best-selling authors, multiple best-selling authors, and they're not experienced writers. They have dyslexia. They flip words around. And if someone with dyslexia like Dean Graziosi, Lewis Howes, and Sir Richard Branson are able to become best-selling New York Times best-selling authors, then you can too. You don't have to be an experienced writer to publish a best-selling book. There's a process and a system, and the same principles that they follow to publish a book is exactly what we are taking you through in getting your book from your mind to the manuscript and to the mailbox of those you're called to serve. And also some bad advice that people give is that a book is going to sell itself. A book's not going to sell itself. If you want your book to sell, you need to have a strategy. You need to have a strategy for sales, and that's exactly what we're going to provide you. We're providing you a system for delivering value at scale, a system for marketing, not just your book, but your business, to have a high-income, multiple six-figure business sharing your health advice in a way that people are willing to pay a premium price. Other bad advice that's out there is writing a book is hard and it takes a long time and it's exhausting, and it's like ain't nobody got time for that, right? But that's not true, because writing a book doesn't have to be hard. It's hard when you don't have a system. And there's 3 types of work you can have. You can either have 1, you can have guesswork, or 2, you can have hard work, which is what a lot of people do and why they don't publish books, or 3, you could follow a framework. And when you have a framework, which is a step-by-step system for producing consistent results, then it makes it easier. Like publishing a best-selling book is simple. We go to work to complicate it. And I can show you how to simply do it through those 6 phases of publishing a bestseller. That's what we walk people through. So my question is, if all publishing a book would do for you was finally be able to share your health message that you've been dying to tell the world, would it be worth it? If all that publishing this health book did for you, if all this best-selling boot camp did for you was establish you as a health expert in the health fields and allow you to stand out from your competitors, would it be worth it? If all this boot camp did for you was get your first high-paying health clients who's willing to pay you $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 for your health advice, would it be worth it? Or what if it was $10,000 a month? Would it be worth it? If all this book did for you was help you to really get that knowledge and build that business and make a profitable business so you could start to transition from what you were doing before to doing what you love and getting paid for what you're passionate about, would it be worth it? See, I had 2 choices in putting together this boot camp. My first option was to go as cheap as possible and give you the bare minimum that you need to succeed. But Jesus said, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. And I realized that when you invest more, you will be more invested. The second option I had requires a little higher investments on your part, but in exchange, I can devote more resources to guarantee your success. I could provide more done-for-you options. I could provide more of my time, my focus, my attention, my availability to make sure that you get to the finish line. And those are my 2 options. And I decided to go the second option because I want to guarantee that you're going to succeed in your health coaching business. I want to guarantee you're going to be able to write, to publish, and launch your book to bestseller within the next 60 days. And I believe by charging more, it's able, just having a bigger investment is we're going to give it bigger returns. And here's an example of a publishing service. Here's another, these are some of the common prices that are in the marketplace where when you look at their most popular package, that they charge $48,000 for you to publish your best-selling book. So this is what some publishing companies are doing, $48,000 to help you to publish a book. And if you look at their custom package, this one is at minimum $135,000 to publish your best-selling book. So when we share with you that it's for $17,000 that we're going to be able to provide and stack on all this value for you, it makes sense that you're getting a good deal. You're getting something that is of great value to you. However, I'm not going to charge you $17,000. In fact, all I'm going to request is that you can get started now for just $19.97 today. If you pay $19.97 today, then you will get everything that we talked about before. And if you're interested in getting started and we're going to help you to write, to publish, and launch your book to bestseller, then the next 60 days and go to the website on the screen, EnochLeffingwell.com/bestselling. Bestselling is one word. Enoch Leffingwell, EnochLeffingwell.com/bestselling. And you can get started today. And you don't have to even wait till the end of this video. If you're excited, you're ready to do it now, you could just open up a new browser, go to the website, and then book a call, and you can get started with one of my best-selling book strategists, and we could discuss on how we're going to create this entire game plan to work with you to launch your book to bestseller. Here's something that Lilia had said. She's a best-selling author and she's a health coach. She says, Enoch really is an expert on his topic. He explains in a very powerful but easy way to understand, especially to sell to an online audience. I notice that many people are afraid to put a price to their services. if you want to grow online, this is what I understand. This is what I can help with you with. And in fact, I wanted to make sure that there is absolutely no risk to you, that I would take on the risk, because I'm so confident that what we're going to provide you in this boot camp is going to help you, that I'm going to provide you a 30-day guarantee where you can sign up today. And if you're not happy for any reason or no reason whatsoever, 29 minutes from now or 29 days from now, just let me know and I'll gladly give you your money back. There's a 30-day money back guarantee here in our company. Like, I don't want your money if we can't help you. If we're not able to help you to publish your book, then I don't want to take your money. That's not what this is about. We're going to provide a guarantee, so the risk is on us, because we have a process that works so well that is able to help you to get to where you are going. And it's only because of that I could provide such a guarantee for this program. So if you're ready to get started, go to EnochLeffingwell.com/bestselling, open up a new browser, go book a call with a best-selling strategist, and let's get you started on the path to becoming a best-selling author on your journey of a high-ticket health coach. Now you have two choices. The first option, you could either do nothing, not take this leap of faith, which, by the way, is 100% risk-free, as you saw, and if you do the same things that you have been doing, you're going to get the same results. And the first option, you could do nothing, or the second option, you can get the Best-Selling Book Bootcamp now with this small investment today compared to the value that you'll get in return. And you're able to publish your book, get it out to the world, build your brand, and really start building the business that can support you, your family, your future. And if you're ready, go to EnochLeffingwell.com/bestselling. You've saw some of the people that we've worked with and what they've said about some of my trainings and my teachings. But my question is, will you be our next success story? We're looking for people who will work together to write, publish, and launch your first or next best-selling book in 60 days. And we're ready to share your story, and we're excited to be able to help you to get this message out to others. Do you want to be our next success story? The real question is it worth investing a few minutes of your time just to check this out? Which, if it does even half of what I've claimed today on this training, will pay for itself as soon as you get your first high-paying clients. And I believe the answer is yes. So you can get lifetime access to this best-selling book bootcamp right now for just a one-time payment of just $19.97. And for the first 5 people, I'm going to do something special. I can't do it for everyone, but I'm going to do this for the first 5 people who sign up today. You're going to get a free 30-minute consultation call with me. And this will be a quick start guide to help you to get started reaching your goals quickly. And during this one-on-one call with me, we're going to talk about what is your topic, who's your audience. We're going to make sure that you're crafting the best book, the best-selling big idea for your book, that we're going to map out the strategy of what is the back-end offer that we're able to provide for this, so that you're able to hit the ground running. As you go through the boot camp, we're going to work with you to work out the details to help you to launch your book to bestseller and beyond. And I can't do that for everyone, but the first 5 people, it's a first come, first serve, and when they're gone, they're gone. I'm going to do this 30-minute consultation, and you can do this together to dive deep into exactly how this fits and how to contextualize to specify to your business, your mission, your message. And if you're ready to get started, just go to EnochLeffingwell.com, and what you're going to do is when you get to that page, /bestselling, you're going to see there's two pages. First, you're going to get on the landing page, you're going to click the yellow button. And when you click that yellow button, it's going to open up a calendar. And in that calendar, you're going to pick a time that works best for you. And this is going to schedule a call with my best-selling book strategist, and they're going to talk about answer any questions that you have. If you got questions, book a call. If you're ready to get started, book a call and schedule a time where we can discuss your situation, how this works for you, and you can get all the questions that you have there, and then there is where you're able to make the purchasing decision, and we'll schedule for the first 5 people, we'll schedule our one-on-one call afterwards. And so this is what we've got. This is one of the best ways to make big money with a small audience, is build a business and write a book and build a community around that business. You can still generate sales, generate clients at scale, leveraging other people's audiences. Big platforms, big audiences. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of people. Why speak to an audience of 0 in building a business when you can instantly, today, we can help you book speaking engagements on platforms with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of your dream clients, and you're already positioned as an expert with a book that is now bringing in high-paying clients into your business. So this is a process that has worked time and time again, and we would love to help you in our Best-Selling Book Bootcamp. If you're interested, just go to enochlifeandwealth.com/bestselling and book a call, and we can discuss that together soon. So this is what we got for today, and tomorrow what we're going to do is we're going to share with you your high-income business blueprint. This is a principle. It's like a Bible study in God's Word. There's a specific story of someone who is in a great need of a financial breakthrough. We're going to be showing you the high-income business blueprint, an exact step-by-step process of building this high-income business, and how exactly God's plan for you to reach your financial breakthrough. It's not one you're going to want to miss as we go into some new training that is going to be shared in a different way than you've probably heard before. So we're excited for that. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Tomorrow's our last day of this 5-day challenge, and the recordings are only available up until Wednesday. So go back and watch any of the parts that you may have missed and make sure that you got that. But until next time, remember, friends, God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. Have a great day, and God bless.